It's a strange world. Some people get rich, and others eat shit and die. And while the tendency is to push it as far as you can. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. Are you worried that your fragile items might not survive the trip to your new place? Relax. Pack fragile items safely by following some simple packing tips. We were born into a government 60 years in debt, unable to even pay the interest on that debt. The banks will burn, money will be useless, land will be useless, and food will become a diminishing return. Dante's Inferno will be made to look like a children's playground. The sun will be not... we got to do that one. I guess I could just keep his roll. Oh, fuck, and now it's dying, and now we're dying. Okay. It's a strange world. Some people get rich, and others eat shit and die. And well, the tendency is to push it as far as you can. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. Are you worried that your fragile items might not survive the trip to your new place? Relax. Pack fragile items safely by following some simple packing tips. We were born into a government 60 years in debt, unable to even pay the interest on that debt. The banks will burn, money will be useless, land will be useless. Food will become a diminishing return, and Dante's Inferno will be made to look like a children's playground. The sun will not be seen, and it will always be night. Trees will die, and rain will become the new gold. And then there will be the most beautiful silence never heard. It occurs to me, the peculiarity of most things we think of as fragile is actually how tough they truly are. We are told we can create a hurricane across an ocean. Hearts may break, but hearts are the toughest of muscles, able to pump for a lifetime, 70 times a minute and scarcely falter along the way. Even dreams, the most delicate and intangible of things, can prove remarkably difficult to kill. The unreal is simply more powerful than the real. Because nothing is as perfect as you imagine it. Because it's only intangible ideas, concepts, beliefs, fantasies that last. Stone crumbles, wood rots, people will they die, but things as fragile as a thought, a dream, a legend, they can go on and on and on. If you can change the way people think, the way they see themselves, the way you see the world, you can change the way people live their lives. That's the only lasting thing you can create. We've taken a world apart, but we have no idea what to do with the pieces, frozen fragile as glass. Well, Big Brother isn't watching. He's singing and he's dancing. He's pulling rabbits out of a hat. Big Brother's holding your attention every moment you're awake. He's making sure you're always distracted. He's making sure you're fully absorbed. He's making sure your imagination withers until it's as useful as your appendix. He's making sure your attention is always filled. And this being fed, it's worse than being watched. With the world always filling you, no one has to worry about what's in your mind. Here's Big Brother, singing and dancing, force-feeding you so your mind never gets hungry enough to think. Stay. That's what mothers say when their sons and daughters go. That sense of inedible victory over the forces of old and evil, not in any mean nor military sense, no, we didn't need that. Our energy would simply prevail. There was no point in fighting on our side or theirs. We had the momentum. We were riding the crest of a high and beautiful wave. But now I'm running back home because I have to play nurse. I have to figure out which pill alleviates which pain and which part of your brain is being used for a boxing bag as your body became a never-ending game of freeze tag, taking place in an empty playground. And I was left looking for your limbs in that lost and found, and I couldn't set you free. So we just sat there with our heads bent towards each other like the flowers in the small hours of the morning while the light wandered in like a warning, that time is passing, and you along with it, bit by bit, every day. Well, it's strange memories on this nervous night in Las Vegas. 5 years later, 6? It seems like a lifetime, or at least a main era. The kind of peak that never comes again. San Francisco in the middle 60s was a very, very special time and place to be a part of. Maybe it meant something, maybe not. But no explanation, no mix of words or memories can touch that sense of knowing that you were there and alive in that corner and time of the world, whatever it meant. But now I know something of how a piano must feel. When it looks at the fireplace to see sheet music being used for kindling, smoke signaling the end of some song that I thought it would take too long to learn how to play. Now I just sit here watching you burn away all those notes that I never had a chance to play, just to hear the music of what you had to say. And I count out the pills, well, just to see if I can do it. Because I could hook up my heart to your ears and let my tears be your morphine drip, because maybe it's easier to let you slip away than it is to say goodbye. So I hold my breath. Because in this countdown to death, the question of why melts into wind. And if something bad happens, you drink in an attempt to forget. And if something good happens, you drink in order to celebrate. And if nothing happens, you drink to make something happen. So I wasn't there the night she fell out of her wheelchair, so frustrated that she amputated her own legs, or rather tried to with a steak knife, her life leaking out onto the white floor, blossoming like roses in the snow. Our relationship was an anthem composed of words like, gotta go. So we went. The energy of a whole generation comes to head in a long, fine flash. For reasons that nobody really understands at the time, and which never explain in retrospect what actually happened. So now, less than 5 years later, you could go up on a steep hill in Las Vegas and look west. And with the right kind of eyes, you can almost see that high watermark, that place where the wave finally broke and then rolled back. Your question is why? Why am I so interested in politics? Why? Well, if I was to answer that very simply, I would say, why shouldn't I be interested? That is to say, what blindness, what deafness, what density of ideology would have to weigh me down to prevent me from being interested in what is probably the most crucial subject to our existence? That is to say, society. The essence of our life consists, after all, of the political functioning of the society in which we find ourselves. Our natural, inalienable rights are now considered to be a disposition from government. And freedom has never been so fragile, so close to slipping from our grasp, as it is at this very moment. Democracy is a very fragile thing. You have to take care of democracy, and as soon as you stop being responsible to it and allow it to turn into scare tactics, it's not democracy anymore, is it? It's something else, and it may be an inch away from totalitarianism. Stay. That's what mothers say when their sons and daughters go. They say, stay. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. Stay. That's what mothers say when their sons and daughters go away. They say, stay. My mother said, go. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. 70 men and 70 more could not place Humpty as he was before. Well, hearts may break, but hearts are the toughest of muscles, able to pump for a lifetime, 70 times a minute, and scarcely falter along the way. Even dreams, the most delicate and intangible of things, can prove remarkably difficult to kill. Relax. Pack fragile items safely by following some simple packing tips.